the layers and the sense of fun and playfulness when I'm referencing different things, in my opinion, anyone would be able to get it in a really intuitive way. You don't have to have in any way been to art college or anything like that. And I find that people do appreciate it on many levels. I've been given lots of opportunities where you're completely free. It's the opposite of being controlled. I'm like, please come and do what you want here. And so I haven't even had to think about where I place myself really in relation to performance art and things. It's slightly outrageous, like I'm quite spoiled. If you are obsessively trying to work on an idea and you don't want to be bothered by eating, porridge is amazing. It means that you don't have to eat for ages. Totally unfascinating thing is that I mix my porridge half water, half milk. My name is like a trading name, or like a nom de plume. Nom de guerre, whatever it is, stage name, all of the above, it would make sense. Like when someone uses a name for when they work, if that makes sense. It's very straightforward, very simple for me. During some of the time when I was using that name, I thought it would be really irritating and funny to change it again, when the people who'd been irritated by it were sort of just settling with it. So I waited until when I thought was the right time, and it felt like it was this summer. And so I went for it, and it seems to have been really perfect and quite fun still. I just can't describe it. With anything like that, I definitely don't care. It's like I'm choosing a name to cheer myself up, but it's extremely complicated, all the reasons. There's so many reasons that you could pick on to talk about, or you could choose to explain. And in a simple way, the name is a way to keep me cheered up. It's not for any other person. It's like a private joke, in a weird way. Yeah, okay. I received a phone call saying, would you like to be part of the Contemporaries? And I think of my work as almost like a child that I've had for 7, 8 years. It feels like I love it in the same way, weirdly. So I don't have a dilemma between my work and my baby. I love them really like as if they're both kids. And so to turn down the Contemporaries feels wrong, because it's like you're denying your child that's 8 years old the fun that it should have or something. So I said yes to it, and this little person was 3 months old, and I had to continue to be a good professional artist. Because also I have to contribute to my income as well. So it's quite normal in a weird way. I'm sure it's normal for everyone these days to balance. Impressive brushing. Should I help? There was stability, I think, in my family before I was born, until an age of roughly when I was 3. And then from the age of 3, there was a lot of travelling and transition. My parents, through their work, we lived in Hong Kong, and we lived in Malaysia and in Australia, and even in Pakistan for a little bit. There were times where we lived on beaches in Australia, and at the night time there were sunsets and parrots came onto our balcony. It was very colourful and wild and free and exotic, I guess, as well. Good boy. Both my parents have encouraged us to have unconventional, alternative upbringing and lifestyle. To be honest with you, I think I've even been almost like an experiment by my parents to have a different take on life. I think they really wanted it, actually. This whole room is one piece of art. This is one element, the brain bug is one element, the diorama is one element, the gobos are one element. I've just started without planning it. It's like when you write a sign and you haven't planned out where to put the letters, so you end up squeezing all the letters at the end. You know, like the last 3 letters haven't got the perfect spacing. At worst, it's called abysmal, and at best, it's called punk. I've got the means to hold together a group of people to have a particular time, like a buoyant sense of freedom, sense of autonomy, and as if they're sort of feeling like they're empowered. So I'm asking, very simply, whether our morality is up to date with the amount of medical and technical advance that we have in our society. So it's very simple. It's like our outdated morality is more probably linked to Victorian times or medieval times or something like this.
Financial gurus such as Alvin Hall encourage people to rein in their spending, to control their fiscal urges and desires, and in this way gain freedom.
Can we adapt and cope and change and have good kind of quality of life and feeling confident and full of morale? And the performances definitely ask those questions. I'm not trying to hide it. If they seem to be just entertaining, that would be kind of wrong, to be honest with you. This is the brain bug from Starship Troopers. We're inside the brain bug, and it's like a metal aluminium frame with 2 layers of skin. One's foam and one's cloth. People say that I'm intentionally bad, as if I was intentionally amateurish with my aesthetic, when actually, if you were to watch me, I'm just excited and impatient to make things, and I'm making them myself. That's why they look bad. It's me making them. It's not because I'm employing a professional or that I've spent 5 years learning how to use the material. It's because I'm trying to botch it together quickly to tell a story. I want to make it really expressive and dirty and sort of crazy, and I don't have any other people other than myself, so I might have to just go crazy on my own. I'm totally interested and always full of respect, to be honest with you, when I research and learn about any of the artists that have gone through the 60s and 70s, all these famous periods of happenings and art events, performance. I just think it's nothing but deeply impressive.
I was invited by some friends who were from the same art college as me to put on a live element in a show they were doing. And then I started researching Eve Klein and thinking that it would be funny, like not laughing at Eve Klein, but I was being very flippant. I was thinking, oh, I'll just have a go at reenacting the anthropometry, this really famous moment where the women were painted and they impressed their bodies with the blue paint and made these brilliant famous impressions, and some of them were sort of slid across the floor, and it was all kind of as if they were brushes rather than using brushes.
He really questioned things. He threw away the paintbrush, and he wanted to have naked women in the studio to be more invigorated. It's just wonderful, like, my God, I think he's brilliant.
But in all honesty, in total natural knee-jerk reaction reality, the people who I reference are more like the Marx Brothers, Mae West, anyone from Kenny Everett to Harry Hill. There's a level where I'm genuinely connected to something more like carnival and comedy rather than endurance performance art. I've been given lots of opportunities where you're completely free. I am being given total reign, and that's happened to me for a long time now, from college. It's as if I'm being given, it's the opposite of being controlled. I'm like, please come and do what you want here. And so I haven't even had to think about where I place myself really in relation to performance art and things. It's really been it's slightly outrageous, like I'm quite spoiled. We've come to this caves, it's called Peel Street Caves, and we're going to do a section of the film where people are going to be doing debt counselling, and it's going to be a small section filmed that will be part of Nottingham Contemporary's exhibition.
We're in the Peel Street Caves, which are under the city of Nottingham. This is also known as Rouse's Sand Mine, and it's one of the 550 caves that we know about under the city. And they're all sandstone, they're all man-made, and this is the biggest, we think, anyway.
We're all happy. Are you happy? Is that it? The space is useful to me because I want to present a kind of help group, like a anger management, or like maybe a Weight Watchers group. But this one, in this case, it's debt counselling. You haven't got a headband on. I wanted it to look a little bit like medieval pictures of purgatory. In reality, they're real debt problems, and the proportions of the rocks are to be in relation to the actual debt that the person has. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the rocks on our backs and walk around, and then the character who's playing the debt counsellor, who's the star of my story. Put your eyes down. She's going to be very calmly and in a concerned way discussing the individual debt problems with each of the people in the group. Anyone who's ready, can you jump in the middle? I want to do Joan's hair. Hopefully it will come across as visually interesting and maybe, I don't know, maybe humorous, but we'll see. It might just come across as earnest and odd. I'm going to have a go at doing it. In the medieval times, there was this idea that you could buy your way into heaven, and then in Victorian times there was debtors' prisons, and now we have credit card culture. So I was just interested